You don't end up on an ASMR video by accident. Not really. You might tell yourself you clicked because you were bored, or because the algorithm served it to you, or because you wanted background noise. But if you're being honest, there's usually a specific moment behind it. A moment when your mind feels too loud, when the day won't power down, when your body is tired, but your thoughts keep moving. And then you find this strange little corner of the internet where someone whispers like they're standing close, taps like they're trying not to wake anyone up, and moves like time has slowed down on purpose. ASMR, or autonomous sensory meridian response, is commonly described as an involuntary sensory experience triggered by certain sights and sounds, often involving a pleasant tingling sensation and a sense of calm. And here's the first uncomfortable truth: ASMR isn't only about tingles, it's about control. It's about choosing a feeling on demand. When you press play, you're not just watching a video, you're setting a scene your nervous system recognizes as safe. A soft voice, predictable movements, repetition, gentle focus, personal attention that asks nothing back. In one of the earliest large surveys of people who already experience ASMR, the most common reasons for using it weren't mysterious at all: relaxation, sleep, and stress relief. In that survey of 475 self-identified ASMR experiencers from around the world, almost everyone agreed they used ASMR to relax. A large majority said they used it to help them sleep, and many said they used it to deal with stress. A small minority reported using it for sexual stimulation, and most disagreed with that idea. If you've ever watched ASMR late at night, you know the feeling I'm talking about. It's not excitement the way people usually mean it. It's a quieter kind of pull, like your brain wants to be guided somewhere, like you want your attention held gently, steadily, so you don't have to hold it yourself. That's why so many ASMR videos look almost ritualistic. Slow movements, careful hands, deliberate pacing, the same sounds repeated until your thoughts stop fighting back. Researchers have even compared ASMR to a flow-like state, an absorbed, locked-in mental mode where time warps and you get fully pulled into what you're experiencing. That idea shows up directly in the research literature, including the original survey work describing ASMR as flow-like, and later work discussing absorption and flow-related traits in ASMR experiencers. Now let's get to the eerie part. The part people don't like to say out loud. A lot of ASMR content is basically simulated care. It looks like someone is paying attention to you in a way the real world rarely does. Someone notices you. Someone takes their time. Someone speaks softly as if you matter. Someone performs a gentle task, checking your eyes, adjusting your collar, brushing your hair, organizing your space, while you're allowed to just exist. Even when it's obviously a performance, your brain can still respond to the pattern. That's why personal attention triggers show up so consistently across descriptions of ASMR, and why common triggers include whispering, close attention, crisp sounds, and slow movements. And if you're thinking, okay, but is any of this real, or is it just in people's heads? The best answer is that the research points to measurable changes, but it's still early and imperfect. In a well-known paper published in PLOS One, researchers ran 2 studies and found that watching ASMR videos increased pleasant feelings in people who actually experience ASMR. And in a lab study, ASMR was associated with reduced heart rate and increased skin conductance, a combination that suggests relaxation mixed with physiological arousal. That combination matters because it explains why ASMR can feel paradoxical. You can feel calm and alert at the same time. You can feel soothed and switched on. Some studies have found effects that line up with this mixed state. For example, a controlled study looking at mood, heart rate, skin conductance, and brain activity measures reported a drop in heart rate while watching ASMR, and patterns in brainwave activity that the authors interpreted as involving both relaxation and focused attention. That same study also showed that not everyone in the sample experienced tingles, which is important because it means ASMR isn't a universal hack that works the same way for everyone. So why do you watch it specifically? If you're watching this video right now, I want you to picture the exact situations when you reach for ASMR. It's often not when you feel great. It's when you feel slightly off, when you're lonely, but you don't want a conversation, when you're stressed, but you don't want advice, when you're overstimulated, but you can't fully escape. ASMR becomes a private shortcut into a certain emotional temperature, cooler, dimmer, quieter, and because it's on demand, it can become the safest way to regulate yourself. No awkwardness, no risk, no judgment, no consequences, just a controlled atmosphere delivered through headphones. But your brain doesn't just respond to sound, it responds to meaning. A whispered voice isn't just a sound, it's a signal. In real life, people whisper when they're close. They whisper when something is private. They whisper when they're trying not to scare you. That's why ASMR can feel intimate, even when you're alone. It's a form of closeness with the danger removed. And that's also why some people can't stand it, because their brain reads the same signals as invasive instead of comforting. ASMR isn't one thing, it's your nervous system interpreting a stimulus as either safe or unsafe, soothing or irritating. If you want to make this more unsettling, think about what ASMR does to time. It slows it down, it stretches it, it turns 5 minutes into a small room you can sit inside. And when you're anxious, time is one of the scariest parts of being alive. How fast it moves, how little of it you can control. ASMR gives you a controlled pace, predictable sounds, predictable movements, predictable outcomes. Your body knows what's coming next. There are no sudden changes, no sharp edges. In the Barrett and Davis survey, people didn't just report using ASMR for relaxation and sleep. Many reported using it to deal with stress, and some described searching for a way to replicate the calm they felt in real-life attention situations, like a haircut or a gentle appointment, and then discovering ASMR media as a way to create that feeling on purpose. And the research doesn't just stop at feelings. There's also growing interest in what might be happening in the brain during ASMR and in people who experience it. Some neuroimaging studies have reported differences in resting state connectivity, including findings suggesting that certain brain networks may be less distinct or differently connected in ASMR experiencers compared to controls, though sample sizes have often been small and the field is still developing. But I want you to hear this clearly. None of this proves ASMR is therapy, and it definitely doesn't mean you should treat it like a medical solution for serious problems. Even mainstream clinical explainers point out that research is still recent and that ASMR isn't an approved clinical treatment for any physical or mental health disorder, even though many people use it to relax and cope. The science is promising in places, but it's not a stamp of medical certainty. So, what does that mean for you psychologically? It means ASMR is often less about sensation and more about regulation. It's a tool you found, maybe by accident, maybe on purpose, that helps you shift out of stress, soften your mood, and quiet your mind. It can be a way to fall asleep when you can't stand your own thoughts. It can be a way to feel cared for when you don't want to ask for care. It can be a way to feel connected without the risk of rejection. It can be a way to make your body feel safe when your life doesn't. And if that sounds dramatic, just remember what the data says people actually use it for: relaxation, sleep, and stress relief. Now here's the darker mirror you might not want to look into. If ASMR works for you, it can also become something you rely on, not because it's evil, not because it's shameful, but because it's effective and effortless. It's comfort on demand, and anything that can reliably change your internal state can become a habit, especially when you're exhausted or lonely or overwhelmed. Some clinicians and researchers talk about habituation, needing more or different or stronger triggers over time to get the same effect, and they also warn that online content is unregulated and varies widely, so what you're consuming isn't curated like a treatment plan. If you've ever felt a little weird about watching ASMR, like you can't explain it to people without sounding strange, that's part of the psychology too. ASMR is intimate, but it's also hidden. It's private comfort. It's the kind of thing you do in the dark with headphones when the world is quiet, and the secrecy can make it feel more powerful because your brain associates it with escape. You might not be addicted to ASMR in the clinical sense, but you can absolutely become attached to the role it plays, the way it ends the day, the way it fills silence, the way it gives you a soft landing when you don't want to fall into your own mind. So if you're watching ASMR videos, I'm not going to tell you it's just tingles, and I'm not going to tell you it's just a trend. Psychologically, it's often a self-made environment, an atmosphere you can summon, a ritual that tells your nervous system you're safe now. And the science, while still evolving, supports the idea that for people who experience ASMR, it can come with reliable shifts in emotion and measurable changes in physiology like reduced heart rate alongside signs of arousal or engagement. But if you want the most honest takeaway, it's this. The reason you watch ASMR is rarely random. It's usually solving something for you in the moment. It's lowering the volume. It's slowing the pace. It's giving you attention without demands. It's letting you be close to someone without being seen. And if you can admit what it's doing for you, what it's protecting you from, what it's replacing, what it's soothing, you'll understand the psychology behind it better than any label ever could.